Hey, what up, folks? Welcome to the Film Focus page. It's me, and I'm going to be giving you my news review of the acclaimed film The Post, directed by Steven Spielberg and starring Meryl Streep and Tom Hanks. Now, The Post tells the true story of the Washington Post and the risk it took in 1971 in publishing leaked Pentagon papers regarding the Vietnam War that the Pentagon had been keeping secret from the American public for years, and the conflict that arose and the moral dilemma that they were put in terms of whether they should publish it or whether they should not. Now, this film is a story of three acts. Three acts. You get the first act, which is where we see the documents being leaked by insiders from the Pentagon. The second act is the conflict that arises between Meryl Streep's character and Tom Hanks' character, the relationship that they form, the dynamic that they build, and the moral and ethical conflict that arises between the two of them in terms of whether they should publish this story, whether they should not. And the third act is the relationship between Meryl Streep's character, Catherine, and her relationship with John McNamara, played by Bruce Greenwood, who was one of Kennedy's aides, Nixon's aides, should I say, and her trying to remain friendly with him and trying to keep him out of the mess that was occurring whilst trying to do the moral and right thing. Now, when you hear the name Spielberg, there is always, you're thinking, okay, that's one of the most acclaimed filmmakers of our time, if not the most acclaimed filmmaker of our time. There's a certain level of quality that comes with his work, and there's a certain bar that you expect that is set when you hear this man's name. And in this film, he proves that even in his 70s, he still knows how to tell a good story. And he does so with The Post. This is a beautifully told film. It is more drama than it is thriller. There are some action sequences in it, but not intense action sequences. And one thing I loved about, this is just a beautifully told film. And for the first time, you got Tom Hanks and Meryl Streep collaborating together. And I love the dynamic between the two of them. These two bounce very well off one another, and they make a great duo on the screen. But a film is not anything without its script. And for me, this film was beautifully written. And what I love most about this film is that it was written by the same people who did Spotlight, the acclaimed film of 2015. So you got Josh Singer and Liz Hannah, who have put together again another taut and beautifully told piece of work that grips you from the start and doesn't let it go until the very end. And this is a beautifully told story. You got great performances all around. You got a beautifully written film. You got frequent Spielberg collaborator John Williams on the score, who gives a beautiful musical composition to this film. For the tension, I like the music. For when it comes to revealing the court case at the end, I like the music. And when it comes to finding out whether a paper will be held accountable, whether they will be fired or penalised in any way, shape or form, the musical composition that John Williams composes for that was just as good. And for me, the performances in this film are great. Meryl Streep playing Catherine, she was very, very good in this role, and she's been nominated for an Academy Award. I personally think that Frances McDormand will beat her for Three Bridges Outside Ebbing, Missouri. But she does a very good job of playing the role of Catherine, a woman who inherited this newspaper from her husband, and now she's a female in an all-male dominated business forum, and she's trying to assert her authority, command respect in a company that doesn't respect her at all. And I like the way that she plays his character very well. I also like Tom Hanks' character. He lends strong, reliable support. Also, another good actor in this film, who's been around for a very, very long time, but hasn't really got the props that he deserves, is Bruce Greenwood. He's been acting for a very, very long time. And he did very, very well in playing John McNamara. He lent the right amount of tension and dramatics to the role. And I hope that at some point he gets acknowledged, because he's a very, very good actor. And I look forward to seeing what he's going to bring to us in the future. But on the whole, The Post is an enjoyable film from start to finish. And I liked how Spielberg gives us a little treat at the end where, near to the final scene of the film, we see a break-in at the Watergate building. And, that leads us onto the Watergate scandal. And this just goes to show that Spielberg knows how to tell the story. He knows how to keep you gripped from the very beginning to the very end. And he knows how to entertain and educate at the same time. You know, and credit to, you know, Liz, Hannah and John Singer as well for just crafting together this beautifully piece of work. On the whole, again, the month of January, they always come out with films. Some films meant for Academy Awards scene, some films that are meant to entertain. This film I found thoroughly entertaining. It's been nominated for some Academy Awards, and rightly so. And I can't wait to see what happens when the awards ceremony commences. But on the whole, this film is easily one of Spielberg's best films, you know, of, you know, this decade thus far. And it shows that the man has not lost a step. He's crafted together a taut and beautifully told piece of work that keeps you gripped from the very beginning to the very end. And I will award The Post an 8 out of 10. It's one that I highly recommend that you watch. It's one that I'm going to be adding to my DVD collection, so I suggest you add it into your DVD collection as well. Because it's something that you can watch anytime, you know, day or night, and it will still keep you engaged. So that's my review of The Post. Feel free to subscribe to my channel. Hit me up on Instagram and Facebook. Let me know what you think. What's your favourite Spielberg film? Subscribe to my channel, and I shall see you on the next film review. Stay blessed.